once you've been through an experience like this, you want to contribute back and you want to help somewhere. So I just think Aphasia Victoria is fantastic with what they've achieved so far.
Hi everyone, my name's Jenny and I'm joined with Chelsey, and we're currently in our last year at ACU studying speech pathology. Today we're going to talk about Aphasia Victoria and the history, as well as getting some insight on some of the activities they hold and how to be involved if anyone is interested. And to help us with all this, we are also joined by Mimi and Catherine, who are members of Aphasia Victoria, and the carers Konrad and Mary, and Sam, who is also a speech pathologist and a committee member at Aphasia Victoria. So Aphasia Victoria is a not-for-profit organisation which aims to support people living with aphasia. They strive to provide people across Victoria with some information and representation regarding aphasia and to raise awareness to the public about the extent of aphasia within our communities and the ways these individuals can be supported. Aphasia Victoria is also proudly affiliated with the Stroke Association of Victoria.
So, Catherine, could you please tell us a little bit about your journey to joining Aphasia Victoria?
I have aphasia. I had an aneurysm and stroke in 2006. It was a very scary time for me and my family. I did not know what this was, and finding word difficulty hard, being unable to read, write and recognise numbers was called aphasia. I joined the Australian Aphasia Association for the Victorian branch in 2009 to 2012, including the Australian Aphasia Conference in Victoria in 2012.
How about you, Mimi? How did your journey to joining Aphasia Victoria come about?
I met Philip Wilkins while we were having speech therapies, and Philip was saying that he was sad that Victoria Aphasia had disbanded, so he wanted to resurrect it. And so I asked him, can I help? And I said, my husband will help me too. Philip arranged a meeting with Ramanda Rose and Robin O'Halloran and called a general meeting, and it went from there. We now have a very dedicated speech pathologist being the backbone of our professional committee.
So Sam, is there anything you would like to add about the history of Aphasia Victoria?
These days, Aphasia Victoria is a not-for-profit volunteer organisation that aims to help people with aphasia living here in Victoria. We also work closely with healthcare professionals and researchers who are working in the field of aphasia.
So Catherine, would you be able to describe how Aphasia Victoria supports others?
I and other people in the committee have aphasia, and we know exactly what it's like and can communicate as best as we can to others that don't suffer as much. Maybe we can make difficult situations a little easier, provide support and let them know that it will be okay. I had a situation when I was pushed around, and having aphasia makes it really hard to speak up. This gives me a chance to have my say and contribute.
We would really like to be the hub where people can find useful information of what aphasia is. Importantly, for carers to get information and guidance as to where they can get help, particularly in the country of Victoria. We would like a pooling of information of apps so that you can get help. And personally, my goal is to get an item number like prescriptions and medical procedures where Medicare will subside the tablets and apps where that they can have access their speech therapist every day, which they needed.
So Sam, how do you believe Aphasia Victoria supports others?
We often receive requests for information from people living in the community. They might be asking about therapy options or community aphasia groups in their area. And the professional committee of Aphasia Victoria, which is made up of speech pathologists, We sit down and write a very comprehensive response to those requests. We want to promote aphasia research, of which there's a lot taking place at the moment, particularly here in Australia. And we want to liaise with national and international aphasia organisations.
Mimi, are you able to outline some of the activities we can expect from Aphasia Victoria?
We had a wonderful morning tea, and we would like to expand that so people could meet up, having a coffee would be wonderful. In 2019, ACU speech therapist organised a night for aphasia. It was a great success, and we would like to support this with Aphasia Victoria jointly. We have a very dedicated professional committee who have given excellent replies and helps to several queries with very detailed information and help as to where they can go. It's been wonderful.
Catherine, is there anything you'd like to add about the activities we can expect from Aphasia Victoria?
I have just rejoined the Aphasia Victoria and think that it's an amazing amount of work that has been done.
And just building on what you mentioned before, Mimi, so there's a new support plan about to be launched by Aphasia Victoria, aiming to provide people with aphasia with access to therapy. The concept is surrounding gift cards. If you are a person with aphasia living in Victoria and need help accessing therapy, Aphasia Victoria can provide gift cards to help people access therapy apps on iPads and other devices.
So can you provide a little bit more detail about this, Sam?
The Aphasia Support Program was launched in October 2020. It's a program where we purchase gift cards for people with aphasia to purchase aphasia therapy apps. We heard that people are actually, potentially missing out on that therapy that they get through attending groups. So it occurred to us that it would be a good idea to try to get people with aphasia using aphasia therapy apps. These apps, there are many apps available on the market, and with the advice of a speech pathologist, people with aphasia can purchase these apps, use these apps, and hopefully continue to recover from aphasia. So far, I think in the first month, we've donated over $1,000 worth of gift cards for people to purchase aphasia therapy apps.
So for those listening at home, who is able to be involved with Aphasia Victoria?
Anyone can get involved. We have a lot of working committee of about 12 of speech therapists, carers and sufferers. We're still feeling our feet as to what we can do.
And Catherine, is there anything you'd like to add on who can be involved or be part of Aphasia Victoria?
It's hard for everyone in the COVID, but it's extra hard for people who have aphasia. This is a chance for people to be involved with the Aphasia Victoria.
So maybe we'll start with you, Konrad.
Thank you. Yes, look, I'm Konrad Ermert. I'm Mimi's husband and carer, I suppose. Then the question of caregivers to Aphasia Victoria, caregivers give a large part of the relationship with people with aphasia. Partners spend a lot of their days with them, and they see them in all of their life situations. And the caregiver's views are really valuable to Aphasia Victoria, who needs to be able to represent all the aspects of aphasia.
I'd say that it's devastating to have
Mary.
Oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Mary, Catherine's mum. Yeah, and talking to other people who have gone through it gives you some hope. And Aphasia Victoria, I think, is just wonderful. They have a very good website which provides lots of information, and especially in the early days, you drink in as much information as you can. You just want everything to be right and back to what it was. Most people don't understand aphasia, and they don't understand that it's ongoing, that it's just so tiring, that it's difficult to keep going. Wider family and friends don't really understand it. So having a website like Aphasia Victoria is fantastic because people can access it easily in their own time. And can get a bit more knowledge, and I think that knowledge is power.
And Mimi and Catherine, what do you believe are the benefits of being involved with Aphasia Victoria?
The benefits is to be able to see the joy of the face of someone has learned something that they can do that before they couldn't do it, or something that they've benefited from the information. That's what we want.
I think it's good to be involved because you pick up things and also give back.
What has aphasia taught you over the past few years?
Gives you a chance to learn to keep on going and never give up.
And Mimi, do you have any advice for other people with aphasia?
It's a big learning curve for everything activity. Hopefully everyone will be able to grow with confidence and learn new skills. Don't expect to be cured next week. All the information will be absorbed, just gently, and never ever give up. And any advice? The speech therapists are gold.
Well, thank you so much, Mimi, Catherine, Konrad, Mary, and Sam, for taking the time and joining us today and giving us and our listeners an insight of some of the things Aphasia Victoria offers. We have thoroughly enjoyed listening to your journeys at Aphasia Victoria and look forward to hearing about future events. If you are listening and would like more information on this amazing organisation, please visit their website at aphasiavic.org.au or Aphasia Victoria on Facebook. We hope you have all enjoyed listening to this podcast and we'll speak to you soon.